The little 2 minute. Oh,
Go ahead, getting it started. Go ahead.
yeah, sorry about that. So sorry about a little bit late. I had to run up the elevators and get back to the computer. So I apologize everybody for I think I was 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late, something like that, but I apologize. So anyway, Dean, again, happy to have you here today, again with the PN community. And Dean, I think the best way for us to do it for the people who didn't come last week was basically let's kind of give them an overview, just a quick overview of last week about what we talked about as far as engaging with Microsoft. So again, my dear friend, good business partner, good partner in general with Microsoft, Dean Jones.
Thanks, Rod. I appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dean Jones. I'm a startup ambassador here at Microsoft. I've been here at Microsoft for over 9 years, and I look forward to helping you leverage Microsoft in a great way to grow your business. So let me, without further ado, go on to the presentation. Loranda, you got the slide?
Got it. I'm ready.
Okay. So go ahead to the slide that we talked about earlier. Yes, that one there. So we have just gone through a very tumultuous time here in the world, right? When you're looking at COVID-19 and how COVID-19 has transformed the way we do business. And it's even more critical that you understand the industries, the core industries that were impacted by COVID, and how you as a startup can benefit from what I call the up market, right? It's how do you grow and transition your business or digitally transform your business to compete in a global market. So as you can see from these global industries, these are primarily 6 of the global industries that we focus on. When you look at on the far right, when you look at media and comms, add the metaverse to that, because media and comms is a part of what we call the metaverse here at Microsoft. And you can include gaming in there. As you know, if you're familiar with Microsoft, we own the Xbox. And the Xbox team is an integral part of what we do here as far as the metaverse. So you have what we call the commercial metaverse, and then you have what is called the industrial metaverse, right? Where you have manufacturing and a lot of like research companies and design companies that are a part of what we call the industrial metaverse. So Loranda, go to the next slide. Yes. So here at Microsoft, back in about 6 years ago, we built out this new ecosystem. I'm going to explain this ecosystem to you guys. If you have any questions, Rod or Loranda, if you can see people raising their hands, just make me aware of it. But I'm going to explain this. I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner and work my way around in reverse. So the first thing that you're going to want to do when you join the Microsoft ecosystem, as far as being a startup, is to become a Microsoft partner. This will help you to get or leverage the power of the relationship of Microsoft. So Microsoft has over 35,000 global account teams that are dedicated to the enterprise, to the federal and local, state, and government in every country in the world, and also to the SMB space, the small, medium-sized business space. So you're able to leverage a program that I will talk about more in depth. It's called COSAP. So that's the importance of becoming a Microsoft partner, because when you become a Microsoft partner, it enables you to get access to technical resources and also training, and then in addition to technology resources. So if as you know, Azure is the cloud, is Microsoft's cloud platform. So if you are a startup, you have the ability to be awarded through our Founders Hub or Startup Program, the ability to get up to $150,000 in Azure credits for building out your MVP and finally your solutions. Also in this area, we have partners that we leverage on your behalf. Stadia Ventures is the logo on the far left. Anyone who's looking into supporting with their technology professional sports, and not just professional sports here in the United States, but professional sports worldwide. This VC enables you to leverage their platform and their accelerator to get access to cricket, football or soccer, rugby, baseball, football in this country, hockey, rugby, cricket. So all of those sports, you get access to all the professional sports global. Ubisoft and Gearbox are partners that we work with in the gaming industry. So if you're looking to get on the Xbox platform or Game Pass, we leverage the relationships that we have with our partners, Ubisoft and Gearbox. The ESA is an organization that does all the rating for games for the gaming industry. So if you have games that are either on PlayStation or Xbox or a Game Pass, the ESA is the organization that rates all the games. So if you're a game developer and you're looking to get your game rated by the industry standard, the ESA is the association that globally manages that process for everyone in the gaming industry. So going down in the bottom left-hand corner, these are all the universities and other organizations, federal organizations that we partner with that enable special capabilities. So SMU, if you're not based here in Dallas, SMU is Southern Methodist University. They are one of our partners. They actually have what is called a graduate design program. So any of the startups that are a part of our ecosystem can leverage their program. So if you're looking to get inexpensive resources, if you're not fully funded yet, and you're looking for technical resources to help you build out your application, the SMU program is a great program to get access to that type of talent. And companies like Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, IBM, Microsoft, AT&T participate in this program every year. UTD has a similar program that we participate in and that you can leverage. The other, like USDA, NASA, we work with them as well because they have what is called the STTR program, which are programs that are leveraging IP. So if you're a startup and you haven't figured out where you want to go and you're looking for IP, you can actually reuse the IP from the government organizations. So NASA, USDA, DOD, meaning Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. You can leverage their IP and bring that to market, and they will work with you. But an important component to doing that is you have to have a relationship with the HBCUs because you're going to leverage the HBCUs to do research, because the research arm is an important component of getting one of the STTR contracts. Okay, so they provide funding and they provide access to IP. And then we also, oh, sorry.
Hey, Dean, so we know that everybody won't get all of this in one setting because it's kind of like our second, time around. but there will be information for you to follow back up. So if you're not understanding some, and Dean's kind of, cruising through this pretty quickly, then you guys can come back and get the information. But that's what we're here for, to help you get all the information you need to understand how to engage and how to gain access to these type of contracts. So I just want to make sure you know that. So we are going pretty fast, but if anybody has any questions, by all means, just, raise your hand, do something so that we can kind of get your questions answered, okay? Go ahead, Dean, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So we also partner with different accelerators all over the world. Capital Factory, we actually sit on their board, so we support Capital Factory. The Addison Treehouse, if you're based here in Dallas, we support them as well. Southern University, as you well know, is part of the HBCU. They're one of the few universities or school systems. They actually have a school system. We actually partner with the law school at Southern University. And the rationale for that is to give startups access to inexpensive ways of trademarking or copywriting or getting a patent. So we work with the patent clinic at Southern University, and the way that we do this is you can reach out to me, and I will put you in touch with the chancellor. His name is John Pierre, and he of all the 6 law schools that are African American based here in the US, he is the only chancellor, meaning he doesn't have to beg for permission to make a decision to help you. He just takes it on, and he's able to help you. Okay. And Shauna, yes, the recording will be shared.
She was talking about from the first one, Dave. She was talking about from the first one as well. It's already in the PN community. You can view it in the community also.
So in the top right-hand corner, as you can see, we partner with Playbook Investors Network. We've been partners with Rodney and his team for close to 5 years now. And most people don't know this, but Microsoft has its own VC, and the name of the VC is M12. So any company, a startup that is 3 million and above and is looking for Series A through exit strategy, Microsoft can provide funding. And that's any industry. So you can go out to the M12 website and kind of get the gist of it as far as, the types of companies that we're investing in and helping to bring to market. We actually just purchased one of the startups that we were funding, Fungible. I just saw that today. So just to give you some background, Microsoft is getting into the manufacturing of chips. As you know, if anyone's following the industry at all, the chip market is all screwed up. And Microsoft is trying to get a foot in there because they feel like, hey, we need to be a solution to this global supply chain problem, right? They had last year, you had cars that were sitting on the manufacturing floor because they didn't have enough computer chips to put into the cars, just to give you an example. And then last but not least, hit the bottom of this quadrant shows all the types of resources that you can tap into if you're a startup. So in addition to our cloud technology and our cloud platforms, you have the ability to tap into what I call the inner sanctum of Microsoft. So most people don't know that Microsoft owns LinkedIn. Yes, we do. So that's 680 million potential followers for you to get an idea of what you do from a startup perspective and to network with. We also own the largest open source repository, which is GitHub. So Microsoft not only sells its own platforms or its own OS, which is Windows, we also support Red Hat. And matter of fact, most people don't know this, but Microsoft is the largest reseller of Red Hat. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So open source is something that we have fully embraced. Many years ago, probably about 10 years ago, that would have been another story. But now we've embraced that. And as you can see, we're making, strong strides in open source. And then if you're in the healthcare industry or the agriculture industry, or just you need research, you can also tap into the strength of Microsoft research. So putting AI or cognitive learning inside of your applications, if that's something that you're trying to build out, you can use Microsoft and tap into Microsoft. I'm going to pause here. If there are any questions, I'll go ahead and take some. If not, I'll move on.
Anybody have any questions?
How does one join the ecosystem? It looks like you have very select organizations and affiliations, and you're not just aligning yourself with anyone. So how did those specific organizations connect with Microsoft in this area?
We actually went looking for them because in the beginning, what we were getting and what we were trying to leverage was the feedback that we were getting from our startups, right? And what they were lacking. And resources always, sorry, let me get that. Resources always, right? And just having access to funding, right, was another weakness of the ecosystem. So we started to partner with Rodney and Penn, and also try to figure out how do we best leverage M12 when we take companies from the beginning stages all the way getting them up to Series A, right? Sorry about that. So, Loranda, can you move to the next slide, please? So this is what I was alluding to earlier. We actually meet you wherever you are. So if you're at the early stage of trying to raise capital, we're there. We're trying to help you get started. We're trying to help you get solid so you can start building your MVP and building out your solutions, trying to figure out your marketing path, trying to figure out your revenue model so you can get to the next round of funding. So middle stage and late stage, right? And I always suggest to startups, you should have an exit strategy, right? You should always have an exit strategy. And are you going IPO, or are you looking to be acquired, or are you looking to merge with an existing product? These are ideas that you should already have kind of fleshed out, because it gives people an understanding, especially investors, what are my plans to partner with this person, or how do I leverage their technology to my benefit? Next slide, Miranda. Okay, so the initial criteria for startups, and I don't have it in here, but you have to be 7 years and younger. Okay, so that's the only criteria that Microsoft has. You have to be 7 years and younger to be a startup, or to be considered a Microsoft startup. Any questions here?
Anybody got questions at all?
I happen to know that Rodney's a lot older than 7.
No,
Hey,
we
all right. How
actually,
you doing?
yeah. So Mike, he's not a startup.
I have-
So we actually partner with actual Microsoft partners. So we'll get to what we do with Penn, because not only is he a partner to what we do here with startups, but he's also a supplier to Microsoft. So that's something that if you have a product that you're looking to sell or have Microsoft use, that's another relationship that you're going to want to have with Microsoft. So it's not just being a startup, there's, the partner relationship and a supplier relationship. Those are the two relationships you're going to want to have with us. Because you can't even sell us a stick of bubble gum if you're not in our system. Okay?
Do you work
that
with
means-
nonprofits?
Beg your pardon?
Do you work with nonprofits?
I do not, but there is what we call the philanthropic side of Microsoft that works with nonprofits. That's a separate organization altogether. And if you're looking to partner with Microsoft in that space, I can connect you. I know that team very well. I can connect you with it.
So how do I contact you? And the second question is, there are ways, as I am a CFRN, which is a certified fundraising manager, been trained heavily in that area and found out years and years ago that a nonprofit can start a for-profit entity inside of the nonprofit. The only caveat to that is that for-profit has to take its profits and designate those profits to the nonprofit. And that's what we're in the space to get ready to do. We work just specifically with drones. So there's a for-profit side. That this is why I'm in this meeting, the Zoom meeting today.
Okay, so drones is a technology that we support on the startup side. I don't know if they're supporting that on the nonprofit side, but I can connect you with Darrell Booker, who heads that up for Microsoft, and get you plugged in.
Darrell Booker is his name?
Yes, don't worry, I'll send it to you. You don't have
Okay.
to.
Yeah, my name is Ron Berry. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I see some other questions in the chat. Alicia, she wants to know how to tap into AI. So that's a very broad question. Alicia, you want to come off of mute and ask me specifically what you're looking for?
I don't think you can hear me. I'm in a really loud place, but I can text it or email it later.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? So you mentioned AI access and cognitive load research. And so I just didn't know if there was a research institute that had that, or what the division of research is.
So what are you looking for specifically? What industry?
I'm a health tech company.
Okay, so have you been out to Microsoft's healthcare industry site yet?
No, would love that. I can look for it.
So as I showed you earlier, the 6 key industries that Microsoft has been focused on in the past 10 years, healthcare is one of them. And I can connect you with my partner, my colleague here at Microsoft. His name is Damon House. And Damon can get you plugged into the healthcare community and some of the research vehicles and AI and cognitive learning that you can tap into here at Microsoft.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions before I move on? Okay, LaRonda, can you turn to the next slide? So we have a program over here at Microsoft called CoSal, and LaRonda's going to share with you the links to that particular site. But understand the framework of what you need to have when you're looking to become a startup here at Microsoft. So stage 1, what is your company mission? What is the vision for your company? Then how are you credible in your market? Remember, everything that you do is about trust and developing trust, right? People will actually get fired for making a decision to buy your product. If your product gets a bad reputation, people will honestly get fired. There are 4 companies in the world. I always tell people there are 4 partners in the world that you're always going to want to be partnered with. Microsoft is one of them. Cisco is another. IBM is the other. And HP is the other. And the reason why you want to partner with these 4 companies, because all 4 of these companies actually have physical offices in every country in the world. So that means you automatically will have a global presence if you're looking to grow your market outside the United States. The key is when you're investing on the third item is, do you know your customer? You know, I'm working with one of our partners now, trying to get a better understanding and a better AI tool that companies can use to get to know their customers. So when you're putting together a forecast or you're putting together information for investors to say, hey, I understand my market, I understand how I'm going to go after this customer and who my customers are, that's very important. And number 4 is, can you communicate a relevant value proposition to your target customers? It's why you, right? Because people need to understand. People understand who Microsoft is, who IBM is, who Cisco is, and who is HP if you're partnering with them on a transaction, but they're going to want to know why you. What is so unique or what differentiates you from your competitors? And the good thing I always tell people, startups have a unique value, especially if you're in a newly carved out market, because if the likes of us is not building that solution, you're only going to have a 2-year window. I always tell people, you're going to have a 2-year window. So in essence, you have 2 years to establish your market as a startup. And if one of the big companies decides, hey, you're creating a large enough following and a large enough market, they're either going to do 2 things. They're either going to buy you, or if they were working on that type of solution with another team inside the company, they're going to blast you out because you're not going to be able to compete against the $1 trillion budgets and market cap of these companies. So LaRonda's going to share this whole deck with you, but I just wanted to cover those particular points off of this slide.
So on the last call, Dean, what we did, we kind of went down the list. You know, we're not putting anybody on blast. This is a place, it's a living environment where you can actually engage with, you know, a subject matter expert or, you know, a person like Dean Jones at Microsoft who's willing to, you know, give you all the knowledge he can give you tools that you need, the relationships that you need. But more importantly, what we like to know a lot of times is like, what's your pain points as a company? Because I think we got like 20 more minutes left. So we try to go down the line and kind of ask questions like, okay, what's, as a business, we know there's 2 things you're really trying to do, gain access to capital or get contracts. But what is your main, what is your pain point for you as a small or medium sized or large business? What's your real pain points and your struggles? So we try to capture that so that way we can capture the data and we continue to do more of the things you really need to get educated on getting to the next level, whether it's working with Microsoft, whether it's working with my good friend from the past, the blast, John Munson. I see John here. Hello, John, how you doing? From Toyota. I see another corporate member here, Keith Eakins, formerly from Volkswagen and Nissan. So we got some corporate people on here, you know, got partners on here. We've got a good group on here and a lot of subject matter experts on the call. But what's really your pain points as a business? So I'll just kind of start, let me see here. Let's start. Lamont, let's start with you, Lamont, as a business. What's some of your pain points that you really have in your business? And this is all family, y'all. This everything's family here. We're trying to get to the next level. We're trying to educate on how to do this. So Lamont, what's your pain point?
Yeah, my number one pain, thanks, Rodney. My number one pain point is scaling the infrastructure of my business. And there's a lot of there's a lot of little things to be done, and they're all important.
Right.
And the ability to properly get dependable talent to support it, to support those things, is a challenge in my phase of my company's life. And then the second part would be on delivery. When we're actually really decentralized management consulting firm with several clients. You
Right.
add a zero to our contracts, and we're in great shape, right? An extra zero to our contract, we're in great shape. We have a lot of good clients, great logos. So part of that scaling is moving beyond where myself as the principal of the company is always the front-facing individual, and being able to scale to be able to replace that with talent and or product. So those are the two things that I'm in transition sorting through now.
So Lamont, what industry do you focus on?
Yeah, so we're about 50% federal sector, and our sweet spot within the federal sector, very aligned with that quadrant you put up, is facilitating innovation, research, and development contracts with HBCUs, Hispanic serving institutions, et cetera. We get paid to actually do that.
Okay.
Through an actual contract.
So are you part of STTR?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Are you part of STTR?
But we don't focus to a degree, but it's not focused on. We actually operate uniquely outside of the STTR program
the question is,
where we have an exclusive.
Okay, so my next question, based on what you told me, why would you do that?
Excuse me, why?
Yeah, because you're saying that you're focused on the HBCUs and you're focused on research, and I'm like, okay, now when you say you're not involved, that kind of leads me that you've got the wrong mindset. So help me understand what you're trying to do.
Part is scale. Is there's a lot of small businesses out there and also universities, but primarily is that we developed an exclusive contract vehicle. So we service our own contracts. So outside of the STTR program, we have the ability to have direct awards through our contract vehicle. It's a hunting license, but we've been quite successful in that. So we've been focused heavily on closing deal flow with our own contract, rather than working through so many different agencies and their individual topics that they put out through the STTR program.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. Here you have billions of dollars that never get used by us, the African Americans, right? Or people of African descent, just sitting over here. Nobody taps into that. And that's what you're leaving on the table. You follow me? So what you need to do, I can help you, because NASA is looking for Black people. They're looking for Black companies to do business with, right? And they're going to Mars, they're going to the moon. A lot of stuff will not be created on this earth. And you need to be able to work with these universities to develop food, construction stuff, all sorts of valuable tools that are going to be used on the moon and Mars, right? So there's an untapped market there for you, my friend. Believe me. And we have conversations, we're on calls with NASA all the time. And they cannot find people like yourself that are already tapped into the infrastructure you just mentioned. As long as you have the universities on board, you've got the research on. Now it's a matter, hey, can I close the contract? Can I reuse IP to close this contract and get more dollars, right? So you're
definitely.
You're in a good space, my friend, but you just have to definitely your mindset into how else can I grow this? And
certainly would want to continue this conversation separately. I am actually a former NASA, so I'm right there with you, and I'd like to give you additional context associated with just the macro level of what I've shared. But I certainly appreciate where you are in this. And look, just because I'm former NASA doesn't mean I know everyone in NASA. NASA constantly changes in terms of.
Do you know my good friend and fraternity brother, Rod Chappelle?
I do.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're gonna have a nice conversation after this call. Okay, I'm gonna get Rodney to put something together so we can talk, and then get you re-plugged in at NASA.
Perfect.
So Lamont, again, nobody's on the hot seat. We just asking questions to try to get, capture some data. So Ron, what do you think your pain points are as a growing company today? Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. I forgot. Ron Berry, right? Is that Ron Berry?
Yes, sir. That it is Ron Berry. Yeah, it is Ron Berry.
Okay.
And your question was again, sir?
So what are some of your growing concerns, some of your pain points?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, listen, hold on. Everybody, this is really quick. We're not gonna take like an hour.
No. I'll be succinct. I'll be succinct. I run into people just keeping their word. In order to move forward and in a timely fashion to get things done, Lamont mentioned some of those things. There are big things that are important, small things important. Everything's important,
Right?
But it's more important when people tell you they're going to do something that they actually do it.
Yeah.
So I'm from Indiana, and that's I don't know if it's indicative to Indiana or not, but getting people to do what they say they're going to do is problematic for me.
Hey, Ron, let me ask you a few questions. Do you use statements of work to work with when you're working with clients?
Say that once again, please.
Do you utilize contracts or statements of work when you're working with clients?
MOUs.
No, not. You notice I didn't say MOU.
Okay.
Statements of work and contracts.
No, sir. It's contracts, yes. Statements of work, no.
Okay. You need to get you someone who has a good statement of work, because that will move your transactions forward. When people understand or have clarity on time, because that's what you're trying to bring to them. That's why you need a statement of work, my friend. Project management is important in the tech world and in the business world. You've got to have a statement of work to keep everybody's mind on the prize. And without a contract or a statement of work, you're going to get exactly what you're getting right today, right? That's how you get people off, out of your way. If people are not going to do what they're supposed to do, that's why you have a statement of work. Now you can go to a legal battle if it causes that to happen. But at least you have a framework that gives guidance to your projects and to your thoughts.
One other thing,
you're going to have chaos like you have right what you're experiencing today.
Yeah. Well, I've learned a workaround on that. But the other issue is how to get in front of corporate people that don't know you. This is great. I mean, but there's people that would like to know who we know what we do and don't even know we're in that we're available or that we offer this service.
Right.
So it's how do I get in front of important people? Like, for instance, I want to talk to the governor, and I know that he would be very interested in what we're doing to further his own career. Okay. Right. And so a lot of times you have to understand the political nature of the city, town, or state that you work in. You need to be familiar with that. But I know that I need to talk to people like that, like give you an example, FedEx, UPS, USPS, DHL, Walmart, Amazon. They need to know that we have a drone training service that provides the FAA Part 107 training that they so direly need. They don't even know we're in their backyard. And how do I get
let me say this?
Hey, Dean, so because of time, and Ron, we can help you try to facilitate some of those relationships. That's why, you guys are in Indiana mid-states, and we got you guys will be in the PN community. You'll be able to network with a lot more people inside this pipeline anyway. That's why we built this thing, right?
Right.
But for the sake of time, I at least want to get to everybody to give them opportunity to at least kind of say something. So Ron,
can you just let him finish that for me?
Let me just finish my thought really quickly.
All right.
That's why I gave you those 4 companies that you're going to want to partner with. Because guess what? All those companies you just named, they're our clients, right? So imagine if you're able to co-sell with and through Microsoft, IBM, Cisco, or HP, you're going to get access to the people that you want. See, this is what happens with us. We think we can do this by ourselves. And you should always look at the framework that these big companies have created. They don't even do it by themselves. So why do you think you can do it by yourself?
I don't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you will be surprised how many people have that mindset. Oh, I'm just going to hold it close to my chest. I'm not going to partner with anybody. I'm going to think I'm just going to walk into these transactions and I'm going to kick the door open. Nobody knows you, my brother.
That's correct.
I'm not saying this.
No, I know what you're saying.
To be derogatory. I'm just saying,
Right. Yeah.
this is all about trust. No one knows you, so they don't trust you. It's just simple. It don't matter if you're black, white, purple. They don't know you.
Right.
So
I got you.
you want to partner with someone so you can piggyback over them, because at the end of the day, your drone, which is hot right now, your solution is going to give a client like a DHL or a UPS or a FedEx a different conversation. We don't sell drones over here at Microsoft, but we do sell technology that can engage that. We sell dynamics, it can connect. We sell the HoloLens, which can connect with that. You've got so many different ways to give a different discussion to a partner. That's what you have to leverage.
I just need to get in touch with you. That's it. That's all
You
I
need to
need.
become a partner first, my brother, before you get in touch with me.
Whatever that process is, I'm gonna do it tonight.
Okay, my friend.
Hey, Ron. So again, the easy answer is PIN, Playbook Investors Network or PIN Community. We're gonna get you there, all right?
I'm gonna hold you to that. Okay. I'm gonna get a statement purpose. A
We're
statement of
gonna
work
get
from
you
you.
there. That's why we built that.
All right.
All right,
So I don't
Tamika.
want to take up anybody else's time. Please go
Okay,
right.
that's all right. Thanks, Ron. Tamika.
Okay, hello, hello everyone. My name is Tamika. My company is a meeting and events company as well as marketing services out of Detroit. And I would say one of our challenges is, I'm going to take one industry in particular. We provide meeting and event support to various industries, automotive, financial, healthcare. A lot of times, the people that we're in front of when we're presenting our proposals, I want to use automotive for an example, they do not understand our business. And so because we don't sell widgets and gadgets, that we don't make 1,000 of these at this price that can give you 1 million of these at the end of the month, they do not understand the pricing and the value and of what we provide. And so when you talk about scaling your business, a lot of times we have to discount services and different things in order to get the business. And we can't, companies like mine cannot afford to stay in business if we're constantly being asked to take things out that are really needed. And we do a very good job of including the value of our service and what these different, services, our support services mean and why they're needed for different meetings and events. But again, they don't understand indirect spend. And I get that in a lot of industries when they're buying things outside of their core business. Our core value is that allow us to plan these different events for you so you can focus on the core aspects of your business.
Right.
If it's
So
automotive, if it's healthcare, you do that, stay
Right.
out of our way and let us do this. And then we create experiences in the process. And so
can I ask you a question really quickly? I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said a mouthful. So let me stop you there. Let me
Okay.
ask you a question. Have you heard of Freeman and the Expo Group?
yes, I have.
Are you partners with them?
We're not partners of them, but we have to utilize them in convention in certain markets when we're doing large
So let me
conventions.
help you. Let me help you. So why haven't you become a partner of them?
I guess I don't understand why we need to, why we need to partner.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Freeman is our event management group for the entire world for Microsoft, okay? So imagine every trade show that Microsoft participates in, all of Freeman globally is responsible for setting that up, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's an event in Las Vegas, or it doesn't matter if it's an event in New York, or an event in France or China, Freeman owns Microsoft. We're their 5th largest supplier, okay, or client. So why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Because every group has a set aside. And I'm looking at your picture. You happen to be African American. So help me understand how you plan on doing this when you're not partnered with these guys.
So let me explain to you, Freeman is an exhibition company that is usually contracted for large convention centers. So every event that we do, we don't do it in a convention center. So when we are doing events in convention centers, we have to work with them.
They do hotels. We have events in hotels. They're responsible for setting those up. They do events at Microsoft. They're responsible for setting those up.
Well, one of the challenges that we also have is because with them being a large multi-billion-dollar company, they think they pretty much have a lot of event staff on their in their departments already. So they don't see us as being a value to them when they have event people already in their company. But we do utilize Freeman because a lot of times we have to, depending upon the location and the venue that we're doing the event. But it's not just.
Let me help you change your mindset, if you don't mind.
No problem.
The rationale is it's the same thing. Microsoft, we all have government contracts. So that means there's a set aside. And what we as Black people fail all the time in this space is we are never at the table, right? And I'll give you an example. So imagine I was working at IBM. This was back in 2006. And there was a huge multi-million-dollar deal at Pepsi, okay? And there were 5 companies that were competing for that business. And we all had to bid a minority-owned company as part of the bid. Guess what? All 5 companies bid the same company. All 5 companies. Because only one minority company was a certified vendor to do business with. And that's typically what happens. There are not enough Black companies or women-owned companies that we can partner with that give us an advantage in a transaction. And that's the mistake that we as Black people make all the time, thinking, hey, this is not the right move. When you have a conversation and they need you to do a transaction, believe me, they're looking for me, but they can't find me. I had another transaction here at Microsoft. We were looking for a $200 million partner to partner with us on DoD, on that big JEDI contract that we just signed. I couldn't find one Black company, a tech company, that could do 200 million.
Yeah, so Dean, so this is what we do, because I know we like to engage in these conversations, especially even when we had the incubator startup with all the businesses, right? We got to give them time to talk and, get their rationale why they're doing certain things. But Tamika, we know that everybody's not gonna get this in one setting, because I mean, we still got other corporate members on here too that's had the same challenges trying to get other businesses engaged with, the large corporations or partner with the likes of Freeman and this, that, and the other. So we'll just kind of table this part of it. And you and Dean can get together, or you get together with us in the community, and then we can try to have some solutions. Because the main thing we're really trying to do is educate, everyone on how to get to that next level. That's the main objective, right? And sometimes everybody doesn't know all of what to do, or don't have a real relationship like with a Dean Jones or John Monson or Keith Eakin or Ron, Robinson. So you don't have those relationships. It takes time. It takes time to grow those relationships. But with relationships with groups like this, you can speed up the process, because we're gonna make calls for you. We're gonna push the button. We're gonna push the envelope and try to get some of these things, across the table. Because Dean's right. It's a lot of misrepresentation, not a whole lot of Black folks at the table sometimes, but you got to also get your stuff right before you get to the table. So that's part of it.
Yep, I appreciate that, Rodney. Thank you, Dean, for your insight. I truly appreciate that.
Not a problem. And just so happens that hold on, let me get his position. So I don't want to misquote his position here. The chief sales officer at the Expo Group is a good friend of mine. And I know they're always looking for Black companies. He's African-American as well. He lives here in Dallas.
So
if you're
again,
looking
it's
to partner-
about relationships, right? That Dean can, actually merge for some of the, the businesses on the call. So next up, Tanya, what are some of your challenges?
Find this dialogue greatly and learning a whole lot, Rodney.
Hey, Tanya,
So
nice to see you again.
how are you doing?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I would say, well, this is kind of in my way challenges and trying to navigate once you kind of go through the protocol and getting all set up with some of these larger corporations is sometimes there tends to be an internal disconnect. So whether you're coming in through a supplier diversity group as a new vendor and trying to get contracts, they may not always be aligned with the procurement department and so forth. So once you go through those steps and become a qualified vendor, whether it's through an RFP or through a DEI initiative or whatever they have, sometimes it's challenging getting to the right person, to be honest.
Okay.
And so you might have an internal advocate who's maybe too high up and not have the bandwidth or the time to kind of make those introductions for you. So it's not only knowing or being in touch with the right people, it's hey, I'm ready to play in the sandbox. Our company is ready to play in the sandbox. Way to be. We've been in the industry for 30 years. We're promotional merchandising. We do cut and sew manufacturing for uniforms. But aside from that, any insight you guys have for that would be greatly appreciated.
From a sales perspective, let me give you my lens that I always have on. I always try to hit the person who is going to be impacted the most from the decision, right? Compensation drives behavior. I don't care who you are. You can be the CEO, you can be the COO. You've got to find out what metrics drives these guys' behavior, because at the end of the day, everybody likes money. Everybody likes to get paid. Who gets paid the most from your transaction? That's who you have to find. That's the person that needs to be your advocate, because the person that signs the check, if you're not there yet, you're wasting your time. You're always going to be spinning your wheels, right? You've got to find the person that signs the check. And if it's somebody like the COO and he says, okay, I need you to talk to this person, you've got to have that whole organization, that decision-making mechanism already lined up and understand it, because everybody in that decision tree gets paid differently, right? And you have to understand that. I always tell people, if it don't make money, it don't make sense, okay? And if you haven't figured that out, then you're gonna be struggling like you are now, right? I hear it because I'm a sales guy, so I understand the mechanism.
I am too, and I'm knocking on that door all the time.
Yeah,
But it's not the person.
Door,
yeah.
Knocking on that door is one thing, but finding that right decision maker, the one who's going to sign that check for you, that's the person you need to find.
But Dean, if they make that decision and they're signing that check, but they're checking a box and then leaving it to everybody else who they might delegate further to, it's delegating to the people who may not be on board internally with the same broader initiatives. So that's kind of been the challenge. And we are a Black-owned business. I just wanted to say that because I'm not African American, but
I get it. But what I'm saying is, in the decision-making tree, there's actually a course that I'm going to recommend that you take, because it's something that we have to do over here at Microsoft. You have to flush out the decision makers and the agitators, right? Because everyone that the COO or someone who's making a decision sends you to is not going to be on your team. And you've got to understand how that whole sales process works and who is going to take your message to the other parts of the organization to get a check. And that is a skill. That is not something that a lot of people have, but it's a skill. But I'll be happy to share with you some courses that we even here at Microsoft. My wife will tell you, she's a doctor. I take more training than she does. Believe that.
Hey, so Dave, we're gonna move on. So thank you, Tanya.
Thank you for asking.
Ron. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Ron Robinson. Also, my business partner, investor, good friend. I grew up Ron in Nashville, everybody, but Ron's been one of the guys who really believed in the PM community and Playbook is one of our largest investors. So Ron Robinson, your challenges.
Well, first and foremost, the reason why I'm on the call is because, like I said, I am an investor, and I am Rodney is near and dear to my heart, and I feel as though he's been working on this for a long time, and it's extremely needed. My company, I own a transportation company in Indiana, and we transport the majority of the members in the Medicaid space for the state of Indiana, and we have for 22 years. So to Dean's point, we have several times where we're the contractor on every contract. So whoever wins the contract, we are already going to win. So we have in 2024, we have a new program that's coming into the state, and we're on 6 of the 7 contracts. So whoever wins, we win. They're going to pick 3, and we're going to win 2 at least. So that's kind of how we function and how we have for the last 20 some odd years in the state of Indiana. So we have a lot of bandwidth. We have an entire organizational chart. I'm the founder, but I have no roles in the operations except for strategic and visionary at this point in the life cycle of the business. So we do a lot of different things. We span across a lot of different industries. We do transportation, but we do other things as well, just so that we are, have a good foothold in this space. So the challenges for us is a lot of times just finding qualified individuals in the state of Indiana to do the things that we need done at the levels that we need them done. In our space, we have to basically match toe to toe with the people that we go. We have contracts with United Healthcare, with MHS Managed Health Services, which is a Centene corporation, which is one of the largest healthcare companies in the country. United Healthcare is the largest in the country. And so therefore, they have a lot of different people that we have to basically match forces with. So I, as the CEO, don't want to be talking to the manager of transportation at their space, and because if something goes wrong and I'm talking to them, now there's nowhere for them to go above me if I'm the owner. So you have to have an organization that can basically line up with these companies in order to do business with them, and and have people in the room that can do business and that can talk the language. So that's my biggest thing is just finding talent to grow and to expand and to scale as we continue to grow the business.
So imagine that the HBCUs are a great talent pool. This is what we've been selling to our company internally, right? You have these universities and colleges that are grooming all this talent, and no one specifically is focused on what you do. Imagine that, right? So
Okay.
Here's an opportunity to create curriculum and work with these universities to train people like yourself to come in and work for you. We're scaling this out. We're training 25 million people globally, giving them our certifications. So they have to earn those certifications. So we've created the curriculum so that they can become digital transformers, in other words, right? So how can you digitally transform people if they don't have the talent or the skill set to do what you want them to do? So that's the challenge that we're helping companies like yours to meet, right? Is how do you provide curriculum and expertise so you can mold yourself into, or your skill set into other people, because your company will not grow if you're the only one with the talent.
Oh, no doubt. I've been 10 years. I've been out of the way for 10 years
Right.
because it outgrew me a long time ago.
No, I get it. But that's what I'm trying to get to the audience, right? Is you have to train people to take over from you, or take over the responsibility from you.
Yeah, I sit on a couple of boards at my university that I graduated from, University of Kentucky, in the Gatton School, which is the business school at UK. And we usually have a couple of internships and co-ops for students from UK. In fact, we've just had a few just this last year. Usually they live in the Indianapolis area, but they went to UK. So I just happen to have that pipeline, and we utilize them. And I utilize a few others, but just usually the ones where my kids go to school. I have 4 daughters, and 2 of them in college and 2 just graduated. But that's what we've usually done in the past.
No, I get it. I get it. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Thanks.
Masako, how are you? Masako, I said Masako, Lord have mercy. Masako, how are you? Miss May. Can she hear me?
I'm in here. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm doing.
Okay.
What was the question? What are my challenges?
Yes.
Right now, I face challenges every day, but since I'm in the pre-seed stage, total startup, right now my challenge is I'm doing my go-to-market plan, and this is like my 3rd time because it's my 3rd pitch deck that I'm doing since I've been working on it for 2 years. And so now I'm asking granular questions with regard to what is my go-to-market plan. I know the 3 states with the highest single parent household is California, Texas, Florida, New York, and Pennsylvania. So my challenge is, when I'm creating this pitch deck, what should I truly be focusing on with my go-to-market plan? Because I know when the numbers are too large, it just gets lost in the sauce.
Okay.
I'm just curious, what is your industry that you're focused on?
Hi, Dean. It's a technology company, the partner to the single parent. So it's it's an application that provides services and resources for the early childhood development stage child and the parent that is raising them.
So is it an education? Is that the space you're playing in?
Yes, we're going to partner with schools, but it's more than education. We are working on STEM and STEAM, but we're also making it so doula services will be available. Things that the parent needs to assist them with raising their child.
Okay, so there's a new company that's coming out. It's based here in Dallas. It's called Akina, Akina. If you meet Akina in a Google search or a Bing search, you'll find them. You may want to talk to them. They are building a social networking site for African-American women and leaders, okay? And for what you're explaining to me, I think that's something that they may want to talk to you about, since you're building something that they're not building.
I'll definitely do that. I'm all about partnerships, strategic partnerships. Can't do it by itself, by herself.
And I can introduce you to Chris and his wife. I think that this is something that's needed. I've given them a few suggestions as to what they should add, but I think if you're interested, I can connect you and then see where it goes.
Yes, Dean, I'm definitely interested, please.
Okay.
Okay. Stemnasium. Can you hear me? You still on mute.
Are you referencing me?
Thank
No,
you.
no, no.
Are you speaking to me?
No. I'm talking to Stemnasium. He was on mute.
Yeah, I apologize. I had a few challenges getting to the mute button on the phone, but Hey, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for this invitation. I was invited here with my partner, Ron Berry.
Okay, okay, so with Ron, you are with Ron. I got you. Okay.
Right. So we're if Ron already spoke, then I certainly
Yeah, he did.
would talked about.
Okay, yeah, he did. He definitely spoke. So you guys gonna be communicating with us as well as Dean at some point here.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. DJ, how you doing?
All right, sir. About yourself?
I'm good, man.
Good deal. So I think one of the challenges we have, and Dean, I'm a former IBMer myself.
Okay.
Was there about 10 years. I have a IT company called MetaVerse IT. So we do everything from cybersecurity to hosting. Have some data centers. We do some smart hands, remote hands, some cloud services, the whole nine. And the biggest challenge we have is really transitioning from doing a lot of smaller to medium clients to gaining more large clientele. So we can do more, we can work smarter, not harder, if you will.
Gotcha.
We're really at that place. It's kind of twofold. And because of that, we're at that place where we need to transition from team managers to managers. To
Gotcha.
really make that jump to larger clients.
So
Okay.
help me understand your partnering model. I mean, you worked at IBM, so I'm assuming you're an IBM partner.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you get access to the IBM teams to talk and socialize with them as to what you're doing so they can bring you into transactions if they need you?
No, we don't. We go through the portal, through their portal where they list different RFPs. We apply that way, and there have been quite a
So let
few
me give you an inside scoop on IBM.
Yes,
You
sir.
work there, so you'll understand what I'm about to say. Nobody
Mhm.
likes RFPs, brother. Nobody.
Right.
You see an
Right.
RFP, you're running the opposite direction because you know you're not
For
going to
sure.
win that thing. You know,
Yeah.
IBM is never the cheapest tool in the toolbox, ever.
Right.
Ever. So, you know, if they don't know about you, like when I worked over there, right, I did my own contracts. So I was able to get my own resources. But the whole thing was I would have to do all this research internally to find the right resource to make me a competitive guy within the transaction. Because the only way that I become competitive if I utilize you, one of my partners, because if I try to use IBM resources, I'm going to lose.
Right. For sure.
Right.
For sure.
So that's the key. You have to get on these calls with these account teams, especially you need to now get strategic. What accounts that you want to penetrate? And you need to have account teams that are dedicated to those accounts. Because if you think the account's large enough where you can make an investment, that's where you need to spend your time. Developing out your teams and your processes to go after that business.
Okay. Now, I know contacts and have contacts, but what do you think would be the best way to kind of penetrate that?
Like here at Microsoft, and I'm sure they still do this at IBM. You know, I'm out of there 9 years now, so even a little bit more than that. But you know, they have these co-sell meetings where partners can go in and pitch their products. And, you know, guys like me actually show up because I'm always looking for better ways of getting better pricing so I can win deals. Because even over here at Microsoft, if I try to use Microsoft consulting services, I'm going to lose.
For sure. For
That's,
sure.
you know, it's hard to compete against the Indians in this market. And without using them sometimes, or without using companies like yours, I can't compete. So they're always looking for resources, especially in the federal, local, state government space, or any transaction that can be tied to one of those types of transactions where there's some type of set aside where you can win. Because in the tech world, like I said, Worldwide Technologies was the only company out there, man. They were on everybody's that one time. They were on everybody's transaction sheet. Okay.
Right.
So if you're not like them, then you're not going to get transactions. It's going to be hard trudging trying to get transactions or get you into a transaction where you're going to make a difference.
Right.
And believe me, I mean, I go all the way to Africa. I get African teams calling me. I get teams from the Caribbean and Latin America calling me. There's opportunities out here.
Okay.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, DJ.
Thank
Watanya,
you.
how you doing? I know you joined earlier. How you doing, Watanya?
Oh, you already spoke with me.
Oh, damn, what time? Okay, I did. I got Shauna, right? Shawana?
What happened to
We can go for round two. I mean,
I got Shawana.
Hi, I'm driving,
Hello.
so if it's a lot of background noise, I apologize. I'm thoroughly enjoying hearing the input for everybody. I am a minority woman-owned construction company. Been in the industry 22 years. And I'm in the commercial realm. One of the challenges for me. One of the challenges for me is, having to spread myself really thin. I would say if I could find someone who is that big trust word, someone I could trust to help with my crews with boots on the ground, while I handle all the other, HR and all those kind of things, business development and all those things, that would help. But I think part of it is my company's doing well, but financially, I don't see where I can hire someone, and I don't know someone I can hire to help keep this moving forward. I mean, I have many different aspects of business, but this is one that I'm trying to get going forward.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we talk about quite a bit, Shawana, is the access to capital and understanding how to do that, because, capital does two things for you as a business. It helps you hire the right people that you need, as well as, purchasing the right equipment that you need. So that's always a challenge. That's why we're trying to educate more on how you close that gap on gaining access to capital and the right type of capital, to gain access to. So we'll be talking about a lot of those things inside the community as well. Dean, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah. So also, there are services out here, and I don't know, Rod, if you've seen this, where you can have a company be your CFO. Oh, sorry. Be your CFO or your COO. Just hiring someone or a company to do this type of service on your behalf, right? Of course, you're going to interview them, make sure they're aligned with your strategy and your capabilities, and make sure that they can give the same level of service or an upgraded level of service to your customers. But there are many ways to solve this problem. But funding always helps, because typically when I hear conversations like this, I know that the company's underfunded, right? Yeah. So it's, sometimes, and I don't say this to be derogatory towards you, so don't take this wrong. A lot of us think we want to do everything. We don't want to let somebody else do anything. And that's typically the wrong mindset, right? So you need to be able to get the funding so you can hire and train or have someone be an understudy to you, so that in the event that something happens to you, heaven forbid, like what happened to me. I've been out of work for the last 6 months because I had a serious heart condition. So imagine if you took 6 months off from what you do today, could you do that? And probably the answer to that question is no, right? So no. You don't ever want to find yourself in a situation like that. And sometimes you have to take the risk of hiring the right person, and you have to be willing to take the risk of taking on that added money so that you can pay them. right?
Right,
If you
right.
see that you have more sales or more revenue opportunities to come into your company, and hiring the right key people inside your company can help you do that, that's something that you should do. That's something that you should explore. Because typically what happens and what I see a lot is that most African-American companies or Hispanic American or just minority American companies are underfunded.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
Yes.
like, if they feel like if you ask for benefits, let's say this, I worked for 4 startups, right? Before I came to work for Microsoft.
Mhm.
And each one of those startups had benefits, bonuses, and a full package.
Mhm.
But typically when we Black people set up companies, we don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, help me understand, how do you, and some Black CEOs don't even pay themselves.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess they don't like money, because where I am, I like money. I like making money. I will not be sacrificing that much for that. I will not. I just refuse to do that. I cannot do that. So that's the mindset that you have to have, you know?
Sean, as you know, we have a lot of talking to do and a lot of education to do when it comes to that anyway, when it comes to capital and understanding how that works, though, you know, that kind of stuff. So we'll be definitely dialoguing about that. So I'm gonna give my Uncle Roy, I got my Uncle Roy Mullen from Austin, Texas on the call. Hey, Uncle Roy.
Hey, Rodney, thank you. And thank everybody on the call. And I really appreciate this opportunity. Can you hear me? Sorry?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. And Dean, thank you. Lots of good insight and wisdom. And Ron Robinson, as always, I think if you just follow that kind of leadership, you'll be in great shape. Every family has a crazy uncle. And so when Ron adopted me into the Penn family, he took me in as Uncle Roy and almost never referred to me as anyone since. So when we walk in a room and he introduces me as his Uncle Roy, there's a bit of a double take usually. So in any event, my expertise and specialty, I've held as many as 5 securities licenses, a mortgage license, insurance license, a driver's license, a marriage license. I just collect licenses. So if I see one I don't have, I go, oh, I need one of those. I wonder what it does. So we help take small companies that seem to be on track for a NASDAQ offering. So they're currently private and seem to have a good path for going to a public offering. And I've been working with Rodney a long time. He referred me at one point to Ron Robinson, and we were able to help him in some financing strategies. And he referred me to a company recently that has a niche in the health industry. And he originally thought he needed to raise $500,000. And after a conversation and what he could do, best use of capital, we've about to close on 1.1 million. So yay. But my favorite story.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, and he's going to use it wisely, and it's one of those opportunities where it's not only are they going to do well, but they're going to do good. It's around an autism strategy, and they're going to affect hundreds of thousands of lives in this country and around the world, and that gives me goosebumps. But the investors are going to make a heck of a lot of money too, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I like those win-win things. But I do want to share something here, and y'all help me understand how we can network. Obviously, you start with Penn, I think. Okay. Yeah. All roads lead from Penn. The 2 success stories I'm describing to you came from Rodney. And so we also focus on what we describe as the 6 sexy sectors. So I think we're in alignment on that. Space is a good one for us. Working with a company that has space trash bags, strange enough, they collect trash off the space station. You wouldn't think that was a big industry, but that's surprising. Medical, certainly. Infrastructure, yes. Green economy, yes. Cybersecurity, yes. If you come up with a new doorknob, I may not be interested. If you come up with a robot that can open the doorknob, let's talk. Okay, so, but the main thing I want to share with you, one of our client companies has a point of sale software, and their client base is Circle K convenience stores. There are 15,000 of those, and they are revolutionizing how that is done and touchless transactions and all this kind of cool stuff. Very impressive technology. One of our other clients has technology around getting stuff delivered. They're working with 7-Eleven that's building marketplaces. So if you need a lasagna delivered, you can call 7-Eleven, and that's going to somehow be part of their model. If you need stuff picked up from Home Depot, somehow 7-Eleven can help you get that done. So their software, their client base is 7-Eleven. They have 15,000 7-Elevens. These are complementary technologies. How about if we introduce you guys? Y'all can help each other. You got 7-Eleven, they got Circle K, y'all should talk. So we like to do more than bring smart money to these deals. We like to help people build their business and make connections and grow them, scale them faster. So I would like to understand how I can understand what you're doing, because one of the things Rodney will tell you that I do well is go, oh, I know somebody you should talk to. Let's make a phone call.
Yeah. Correct.
And I love doing that. But Rodney is amazing. If y'all do nothing else, plug in and trust Rodney, plug into his network and trust his leadership. He's got it figured out. You just need to get active and stay involved. And I'm here as one of his resources. And I'll hush with that.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle Roy. Dean?
I don't have anything else, Rod. It was
Okay.
great having, like Roy just said, I'm just a resource of Rodney's. I'm an extended resource of Rodney's.
No, it's not. Everybody knows it's not about Rod. It's about all of us. But I got an iPhone here that I don't know who that is. I'm not sure.
Oh, this is Antoine from last week. Antoine Barber, the
Hey,
drone
okay,
services.
okay. Yeah, I got you.
I
That's
had to get on
Antoine.
phone because
Okay,
I'm out. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
I was just waiting to find out about those connections. I thought, Dean, I thought you mentioned something about a drone business last week or something like that.
Well, I need you guys to reach out to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get your info to reach out.
Okay, I thought you was gonna reach back out to Penn. Penn has my
It was
information.
inside the community, Antoine. It was.
Oh, okay, it's in the Penn. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
I'm inside of Penn, my friend.
Yep.
Okay, I know it was
Saw that.
something, so that was on me. I thought that it was gonna be sent, but okay, I'll be in the Penn community tonight.
Okay. I think for the ones who hadn't joined, probably still need to join the community, because I mean, as you guys know, each day everybody's continuing to join, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. A lot more networking, a lot of people you can interface with, network, touch, feel the whole nine. But right now it's about getting educated on how to do these things, and it's a blessing to have Dean Jones and others who joined the call, Uncle Roy, John and Keith Eakins, guys I work with, in the automotive sector, and also having, business partners like Ron Robinson as well as an investor. But this thing here is about getting educated. How do you truly understand your business, understand how to take your business to the next level, understand how to gain access to capital or gain access to contracts. Because everybody's looking for money or contracts. It's going to be one of those things going to facilitate you to do the things you want to do. So it's on you also to do what you need to do, is to get educated, get in here, network, talk, you can follow, you can do all those things you do on social media on the outside thing, you can do it here as well. So I don't have anything else. So I hate that we went over time, but it was a good conversation. We're going to have many more coming. I think, Sonia, our next conference call is next week. Sonia, you want to kind of go give that information and who that is?
Right, but Rodney, we missed two people. We have.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't see.
We have Mr. Jolly Duran.
Yes,
Am I pronouncing it? Duran. Okay, I'm sorry.
Duran.
Yeah.
I didn't even see you here. I'm so sorry.
And then we have a Steve Ike that just joined, but I think let Duran go first.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries, Darren Jolly. I'm the owner of Incon LLC, we're a marketing agency here in the Dallas area. One of my biggest challenges is capital. More so focused on the technology that I created in the marketing space as a marketing intelligence software that's designed to evaluate your marketing program and pinpoint where you're vulnerable, where you ultimately need to make some improvements. I say capital because I need capital to find great developers to keep up with the vision that I have for it. I've dealt with one developer and one single developer kind of leaves me vulnerable and leaves the two because you don't have that team that can really quality check and everything like that. So I haven't been able to get it to a point of success in the market, because every time we get a client trying to bring them in, we have a bug. Whenever we talk about companies that want to partner with us, we run into bugs. So I need capital to be able to hire some of the better developers out there that can really put the right measures in place to make the platform usable, but also scalable as well.
Hey, Darren, can I ask you a quick question?
Absolutely.
Is your solution cloud-based?
That's where we're looking to move to. Right now, it's just being hosted on Cloudways right now.
Okay. I would definitely advise you to explore the Azure platform. And then let me ask you another question. Have you integrated your solution through Dynamics or Salesforce?
I haven't gotten to the point of being able to get a good development team to do all of the integrations that I want to get to. So that's kind of the next step once I get a solid team in place.
Well, the good thing about the cloud, right, and these cloud companies that you could potentially partner with is that if you're a partner, guess what? One of the buttons inside the Microsoft Partner Group, I'm just using Microsoft as an example, is that you get to request resources.
Okay.
So imagine you have the ability to work directly with the Dynamics team or someone from Dynamics, right? That's how you get the value. And since you're building a marketing solution, you should look to partner with Salesforce because it only makes sense. When you look at the Magic Quadrant, right? When you look at the Gartner Magic Quadrant, that should be your guidance for who you need to partner with, because that's where your solution is focused. It's improving what they already have, right?
Right.
Well, you got to go where the money is. If the money's there and you're trying to make it better, then it just stands to reason if you go back in with someone from Microsoft or Salesforce or IBM or one of these other companies, you get to enhance their conversation because they're always looking for upselling as well. And that's what you present. You present a upselling opportunity.
Okay. Absolutely. No, I appreciate that.
Sonia, who's the last person? And then I want to, also give an introduction to John Munson, who I worked with for years at Toyota. Who was the next person?
Steve Ike, I believe.
Is Steve still here?
Steve is
Okay.
he's unmuted.
All right, sorry. So I would like to say that our challenge is not just capital, but the opportunity to meet primes that are actually serious about partnering with us. Because, over the years, we go to a lot of conferences and seminars and we get business cards, but that sort of stops there. A platform that can elevate, the process and perhaps open it up, bring meaningful meeting and conferences together where we can meet the buyers, not just their reps, technical people that we can talk to, and perhaps, open up an opportunity. That is one of our challenges.
Hey, Steve, what industry are you focused on?
We're in IT, and that with IT, we service aerospace industry, especially NASA. We write a lot of systems integration for them. We're also a Salesforce partner and Oracle Fusion partner, but we're yet to get on Microsoft Dynamics.
Okay, and what's holding you up there?
Excuse me?
What's holding you up? Becoming
What's
a
holding us
Microsoft
up?
partner?
I don't know. Well, I've never been invited like I was today, so. But
So,
I'm glad that I'm here.
I see. I gave you what we call in basketball a slam dunk. I gave you 4 companies that you should partner with. Partner with Microsoft, IBM, HP, and Cisco. Write it down, please, because I need everybody on this call.
Sure. Well,
When
yeah,
you
I
get
didn't
off
hear
this
that.
call, to get into their partnership portals and become partners with these 4 companies.
Okay, I just joined the call, so I just heard it.
No, I'm just
Okay.
saying, and the reason why you hear my passion is because we always get left out of these conversations, right? And unless you've been a part of the channels organization, I've been blessed my entire career. I've worked not only on the enterprise side of these companies, but I worked on the partner side of these companies. So I understand the importance of strategic partnerships, alliances, channels. Remember, you're one person. How many salespeople you have working for you, Steve?
Me.
Exactly. That's my point, right? So I just gave you an example earlier. Microsoft has 35,000 salespeople dedicated to the entire world. Wouldn't you like to have those 35,000 people selling your products and your services on your behalf? You see how you scale? Because right now you can't scale. Steve
Sure.
may be a ninja in his world, but in the world, in the global world we all live in, Steve's one person.
Right. So we're gonna take care of that thing, right? We get
Okay.
Steve straight. Right. We'll take
Okay,
care.
quick question. So when you mention HP, you're talking about HPE, like the enterprise HP.
Yes,
Just
the printer guys, the guys who sell printers. Remember, everybody has a printer. Either they have a printer or they have a bunch of printers, and then they have print services.
we don't sell printers, and we don't sell
But
Cisco.
everybody, every one of their customers who you're trying to get to in the world has a printer.
True.
That's why you want to talk to these guys. That's the key. You got to get in the door.
Okay.
You understand? That's how sales works, my brother. That you got to get in the door. You got to be in the game to play. If you're on the outside looking in, you're not playing.
Okay. Do you have the URL for Microsoft Partnership Program?
Just so happens I do. Let me show it to you. Yeah, let me. I'm gonna share my window real quick, Rod.
Okay.
So that's the URL right there. And LaRonda I sent her these URLs. She's going to share them with you.
Yes, Steve. If you
Okay. But this is the partner portal right here.
if you put in your email address, Steve, I'll make sure to send out those links to you and everyone else on the call.
Okay.
And then
should I send it to?
Just put it in the chat.
To everyone?
To
Yes.
everyone, yeah.
Okay.
And then here's the URL to the Black Partner Group. So imagine we actually have a program dedicated to Black partners like yourselves. And this is what I talked about earlier. And LaRonda has all of these links. So she's going to be sharing. So this is the co-sell. And this is the one I was telling. This is the one you get to pitch your product and your services and your solutions to us. And we help you sell because you give us another voice to the customer, a voice or a solution that they've never heard about. And if it can solve a problem for me, then I'll bring you into a transaction. I'll give you an example. I just closed a $1.5 million deal with Pepsi, helping a local startup here in the MetaVerse. So we can walk you into transactions if it makes sense.
Right. So I want to give Ron, you can change the screen. I think everybody got that though. You will send it to everybody. Anyway.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, I stopped sharing.
So I do appreciate everybody's on the call a little longer, but I definitely want to give, my good friend, John Muntz, an opportunity to say something. Who they groomed me back in the Toyota days and kind of taught me how to do this and work with minority and women-owned business, government business around the country. So definitely want John Munson to be able to say something. He's watched me do this over the years, building this thing. So John Munson Jr.
Hey, Rodney, I appreciate the opportunity to spend a couple of times with you guys. I would just say I'm just so excited that the Penn community has launched. I don't think everyone on this call truly understands the power of this network and what is really going to, and how it's really going to help impact your business. As Uncle Roy has stated, I've been knowing Rodney for quite some time. I saw him from the infancy stage when he just had an idea, and he partnered with Toyota at the time. So he kind of took Dean's advice to try to get with a global leader, and he latched on to Toyota. And then from there, he was able to kind of really span his business in a big way. My background, I'm in HR and supply chain. I'm a supply diversity practitioner. I led supply diversity initiatives with Toyota for several years. I left and went over to the retail industry, was the vice president of supply diversity sustainability for Macy's. And now I'm the president, global alliances and chief supply diversity officer for a minority-owned company. It's an IT and engineering global consulting BPO management company based out of Detroit. 26 years old, $100 million in revenue. So I've seen the whole side of the corporate side to the MBE side, strategic alliances and purchasing and procurement, and how you put all those pieces together. So if I can be of a resource, which I plan to be, not only to talk about tech and how we can find ways to grow and partner with other individuals to grow our tech space, but more importantly, to how to navigate these waters and how to utilize these relationships to grow and scale your business significantly. There was a lot of questions in here about, how do you meet with the right people? How do you scale your business? How do you deal with corporate America? I can be a resource, and along my good friend Keith Eakins, he had to jump off the call. His background is in manufacturing as well. He's a global procurement manager currently. So we're here as a resource to help you out. Again, the Penn community is going to be what you make it. Rodney's going to continue to evolve this thing, get the right people in here to ask the right questions. And I believe everyone is in the right room. I'm a true believer. You can't be everywhere. You got to be strategic in where you are, and you have to be in the right room, and the Penn community is the right room. So with that, Rodney, that's all I got.
Thank you so much, John. I definitely want to thank everybody for doing
to be honest and be transparent and just, I just have to ask this for clarity purposes. How accessible are you guys, Mr. Jones, Mr. Munson? How accessible are you guys to us? Like, need to be calling and talking to somebody tonight. I'm nocturnal. I'm 24/7. So I need to get stuff done. And so you guys are the ones that are promising this kind of stuff, man. And then, hey, I need you. I need to be in. So first thing I'm gonna do what you told me to do. Join the community first. I got it.
Right. There you go.
All right.
So I would say join the community. Rodney and LaRonda and Sonia, they're going to come up with a schedule to ensure that the right people are going to be accessible for everyone.
All right.
And I'm active in the Penn community as well. So when you get into the community, just like anything else, you can just pose a question to one of the experts. And Rodney is a pretty persuasive guy. He's calling me all the time, like, John, I need you to get on. I need to start answering some questions. He's done the same thing with Dean. He's done the same thing with Uncle Roy and other people. I need you guys. So we're here to support. We're here to grow. We can't do this thing by ourselves. It takes everyone. It takes a village in order for us to grow. And we think about corporate America, and Dean could probably allude to this. They need wins as well, right? In order for them to grow, they need to find innovative suppliers like yourself. They may have large global suppliers, but guess what? Their cost is extremely high. Sometimes you can have smaller, nimble suppliers that have more innovative strategies. They can bring that solution to partners such as Microsoft. However, they may not have the scale, they may not have the funding, and that's where Penn comes in order for them to come up with the right partners, to spend time with Dean and others, to pitch their ideas and make them a credible resource. So again, it's all about what you make it. You are doing the right things and being in the right space right now. Be strategic. get with the right partners, and find out exactly how you can grow and scale your business.
All right, Dean promised me a name for the philanthropic side of Microsoft. May I have it, please? He said he would give it to me. I don't want him to forget. There's a lot of people in here. Okay, I'm a pretty aggressive person, man. I'm sorry.
I see, Ron. That's okay.
I see that, but it's all good. Just take it calm down. We got you. We got you.
Right.
LaRonda got you. So whatever questions that you have, just shoot those over to LaRonda. She's going to copy it all down, and I'm sure she's going to spend some time to shoot the information out back to you.
Ron, if you can go ahead and put your email address in here as well, so that we'll make sure to okay, perfect.
And I'll do
we'll
it
make
again.
contact.
All right.
Perfect.
And also, Dean, my company, Computech, is a Microsoft Gold partner.
Yes, I know. I'm very familiar with Computech.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everyone.
Again, go ahead, Dean.
I have to leave. I apologize. I'm getting blown up over here. But I definitely will follow up. LaRonda, get me whatever information you need to get to me so I can communicate back to these people as soon as possible.
I just need your philanthropic guy. Whatever.
I will do that, sir. I will do that. Hey,
I
need a
hey, listen.
Don't
hey,
saying that I need to talk to him. You need to send me a deck so I can have a conversation with him. No deck.
I need a number to text back. I need a number to text. Give me a number to text.
Hey, Ron.
LaRonda, give me my contact information.
Please.
Stop.
All right.
Will do.
Hey, listen, everybody have a good night. And our next conference call is with SBA. Right, Sonia? You just kind of give everybody the name of the SBA person that we'll have on about money.
Right. We'll be talking to Herbert Austin, the District Director of SBA Small Business Administration, next Tuesday, 6 o'clock Central Time. And I'll be sending that information out as well.
All right. Thank you, guys.
So I want everybody to have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for getting on the call. We're so sorry that we went way over time. It was a great meeting, but I want everybody to enjoy your night, though, okay?
You better Sonia and LaRonda, we love you. LaRonda and Sonia, we love you.
Happy New Year, Uncle Roy.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Y'all gonna know me. Y'all gonna know me.
We know you, Ron.
Thank you.